Please stand by for further details. We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
Hello to those of you who are feeling called into this reading in particular, mystery reading at number 644. Before getting into this reading, chances are most of the people watching this video are not subscribed, so if you are a reoccurring viewer, you enjoy my work and would like to help support the growth of my channel, feel free to do so by sticking around, hitting that subscribe button down below, and ringing the notification bell next to it so you don't miss an upload. My current goal is 500 subscribers, so I can have access to offering channel memberships. So if you do decide to subscribe and support my channel, thank you very much. So starting with interpreting the number 644, this brings the energies or ideas of unconditional love, especially for yourself, devil energy in terms of like unhealthy attachments, addictions, codependencies, and these attachments, you could either be attached to a certain way of thinking or attached to something outside of yourself, you know, a certain way of feeling, or it could be both within and outside of you. With the number 4, it's all about stability. And because of the unconditional love that feels like it's mostly projected towards yourself, or that it should be mostly projected towards yourself right now, it feels like this stability is mostly about emotional stability. You know, stable beliefs, perspectives. Maybe one minute you feel super optimistic, and another minute you feel super pessimistic. Someone could struggle with bipolar disorder. No, I'm not a psychologist, but I do understand what bipolar disorder feels like, and it's pretty extreme, intense, and conflicting. You know, you decide, you know, who you are and your own experiences. I just saw 222, and I did see 122 before, but I haven't gotten around to mentioning it yet. 122 is a reminder that change starts with you. So the more emotionally stable you come, it helps you become more physically or financially stable, and this will influence others to also become stable inside and out. I feel something here about creating more unity. Seeing 222, that's all about balance. That's a sign that there is something here that you need to let go of. I just got a vision of the reading that I did yesterday with the Empress in reverse. So I feel like what needs to be released are harsh judgments that you have about yourself. Being harsh or judgmental towards your own weaknesses or your shadow self, your darker self. I think there needs to be a more balanced appreciation for yourself and who you are as a whole, rather than just your strengths or your light or what you have to offer others or the world. I keep having to clear my throat, if you haven't noticed already. And that reminds me of your throat chakra. So maybe that needs to be cleared, and you need to learn how to express yourself authentically, or there is a nudge here to communicate, to make how you feel, what you think, what you're passionate about known, but obviously in a respectful, constructive kind of way. Maybe in general it's important for you to work on your communication skills. So yeah, and working on your communication skills to get better at communicating with others, I think it's important that you first learn how to communicate with yourself. To build healthy relationships with other people, you need to learn how to build a healthy relationship with yourself. And If there's a certain way that you wouldn't accept speaking to yourself, or that you wouldn't accept other people speaking to you, apply that. If you won't accept others saying or doing certain things to you, don't do it to yourself. And if you wouldn't say or do something to yourself, don't do it to other people. I just saw 4, 5, 6, which is a sign to trust that everything happens for a reason. So I do feel like there are messages here about how you communicate for a reason. If you want to be a leader, someone here definitely wants to be a leader. I feel that for sure. It's important that you know that you are responsible for how you are received. So don't, communicate poorly just because other people do. It's like a lead by example type of thing. And I don't want to say like be the bigger person, because I think that I'm personally annoyed to hear that, because it's not about being bigger or better than someone. It's just about doing the right thing, or doing what you need to do to make the kind of difference that you want to make. And I just saw 5, 4, 3. For some reason I was wanting to say 4, 5, 6. So again, trust that it's important to be mindful of how you communicate for a reason. Even if you don't want to be a leader and you just want to make a difference in your personal relationships, still. Communicating is complicated, because it's like you want to be authentic, but you also want to be heard. So maybe there's a little bit of a tendency to try to influence how other people view or perceive you, and it's important to let that go. So I'm going to go ahead now and draw out a card from the Nightmare Before Christmas Tarot to look deeper into the energies, ideas, messages that want to come through for you. I have this song stuck in my head. The only lyric that I hear is monster. It's like, dang. I feel like if somebody would know it if I could like say the name or whatever, but the only lyric that I'm hearing is monster, and then it goes into like more musical sound stuff. So there could be someone here that you perceive as a monster, or maybe you perceive yourself as a monster. In either way, you need to humanize yourself or humanize someone outside of you. Don't take things too personally, even the judgments that you have against yourself, if that makes sense. So I have the High Priestess, which is very interesting to see. It says awareness, trust your instincts, truth, and clarity. Trust feels like a significant energy here. What are your instincts telling you? What's your inner voice or your intuition trying to tell you? It's like you feel, it feels complicated, because some part of you feels like you know what you need to be doing or what you should be doing, but you're distracted, by your ego, by negativity, whether it's coming from within or outside of you. So I think it's important for you to figure out how to connect deeper with your intuition, your inner voice, in a way that works for you. I don't know if this works for everybody, but for me personally, I find that sitting in a quiet room or meditating really, really activates my intuition, and my mind becomes really loud. It's the same reason why I can't sleep without a TV on, because then my inner voice will not shut up. It will just keep going and going and going. Let me think for a second. Oh, yeah, the High Priestess does have the number 2 on it. So what do you feel guided or called to let go? Seeing the High Priestess, this does feel like, for this reading, it's more about your intuition rather than the messages in the video. I mean, it's kind of a combination of both. I hope that makes sense. Like, listen more to yourself than me. And I also feel like this video, this reading, is more up for interpretation rather than me telling you, very specific messages. So this really could just be a very general reading that everybody who's watching this, the universe, your spirit guides want you to focus on following your intuition, learning to trust yourself, learning how to lead your own life. Especially if you want to be a leader, you first have to learn how to lead yourself. I get this like strong sense of unity, connectedness, like somebody else's spirit guides are communicating with your spirit guides and we're all working together. You know, so just know that this journey of following your intuition, following the truth, going forward with clarity, you're not alone in this. A lot of people are being guided to do this. And I did see 1010. Wow, which is a sign for me that your spirit guides are near. And they really might be trying to tap into your intuition or help you strengthen your intuition by trying to communicate with you. So where do you feel called to go? I just heard, where do you feel called to lead? And someone who you could feel called to lead, but you don't even know where or like what you're supposed to be doing. And the only way you're going to find out is by looking within, understanding your own experiences and what they mean for you and your future and how you are meant to make a difference. I just saw 111, which is a sign to trust yourself. Trust that you know how you are supposed to be a leader, whether you're leading a group of people, an audience, or just your family members and your friends, or just yourself. I think everyone here is being called to be a leader on some level. But let me think for a second. I'm laughing because this part right here on her dress, you won't know unless you know SpongeBob, but it reminds me of whenever Patrick is wearing the fishnet leggings or whatever, and stilettos, and I think it's from a SpongeBob movie. Honestly, I can't remember, it's been so long, but I don't know why that's coming through or why that's relevant, but it does make me laugh. I did see 1, 2, 3, so it's coming through for somebody for a reason. So since I don't really remember too well anyway, that movie, or at least that part of that movie, maybe it's important for you to look that up and try to find symbolism or meaning in it, as goofy or as silly as it might seem. And I also feel like the name Patrick Star, I feel drawn to his last name, Star. Maybe it's just the fact that he's a starfish and you're being reminded of star energy, hope, faith, change, rebirth, death, endings. What cycles here do you feel called to put to an end? At least cycles that you have control over, or that you can at the very least have some level of influence over. And I also just heard something here about affluence. Don't know what that means, so if you want to look it up, feel free to do that. I'm going to start wrapping up this reading by drawing out a card from this box of cards, which are cards that I made myself. If you didn't already know, I had to burp there. And burping for some people can be a sign that something needs to be released or let go. So what on the inside is standing in the way of you letting go of something or someone outside of you, or even on the inside? This energy is a little bit complex, but I think it's important for you to remember that whatever's going on the inside will be reflected on the outside. Whatever thoughts, emotions, passions you project, you're going to attract that back to you. Whatever actions or thoughts, I want to say more specifically, whatever actions or thoughts you project are the actions and thoughts you are going to attract. So if you want a more optimistic people whose actions align with your values, you first need to learn how to be more optimistic and align your own actions with your own values. Yeah, the strong mirroring type of energy. Mirror to the world the change or the difference that you want to see or make. So this card that I have, it's song lyrics. It's from the song called Little One by the band Highly Suspect. Oh, and I just saw 444. This number has this card has the number 31 on it, and 31 comes down to 4. So prioritize stability. Remember, we did have 2 4s and 644. And I did forget to add up the number as a whole. 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 plus 6 is 14. That's 5. Embrace change. Again, the energy of death, cycles, rebirth. This card says, I'm cornered in fires, so break out the secrets. And I just saw 1515. The 1515 for me is the energy of the devil, which, to be clear, I see it more as a symbol rather than like an actual being. I don't know, I could be wrong, because I mean, we do have a source, so it would kind of make sense if like something on a lower level was reflected. I don't know, it's confusing. But the devil energy for me represents, like I said in the beginning, unhealthy attachments, addictions, codependencies, an unwillingness or a resistance to let go of self-destructive behaviors or unhealthy thought patterns. This, I'm cornered in fires, so break out the secrets. What secrets are you keeping from yourself? What are you not being honest with yourself about? What unhealthy attachments, perceptions, feelings, actions do you need to be do you need to hold yourself accountable more for? And I think it's interesting, it says I'm cornered in fire. And it makes me think of this art that I have, that I put in a video recently, with the song Buried Alive by Avenged Sevenfold, and it was a bunch, like, really fiery imagery with the shadow of a woman. But regardless of your gender, someone or everyone is feeling like they're drowning in passion, rage, frustration, cornered in fire. You're feeling cornered or trapped by your own passion and need for justice in situations where justice is just not possible. And be careful with what you define as justice as well. Is this unfair? Or do you just feel like you deserve a certain outcome? Be very clear with yourself about that, especially when like you're trying to communicate with the universe, your spirit guides, the spirit realm. Be honest with yourself about what fairness truly is, and that doesn't have to resonate for everybody. But there's like this pressure from yourself, this is interesting, to express your passion in times when expressing your passion may not be the most helpful. Yes, it's frustrating, it can feel invalidating, dismissive, controlling, but it's important to put your safety, your stability, your security first. That's something I've had to learn recently. Like, being safe is a more important priority than seeking justice. And that's not to say you can't have justice. I just think you're going to have to receive it in a way different than you thought, from within, rather than outside of you through getting something that you want or something going in the way that you want it to. So, yeah. Be mindful about how you're not being honest with yourself, and learn how to, tame that fire within, and to channel it in ways that are truly helpful and constructive. That same passion that you use to take relentless action, you can use that to also to have relentless self-control. It's all just a matter of how you express it.